And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Flip Wilson.
Well, first I'd like to say that I come from a very, very poor family. Very poor. And my family had nothing. My mother and father were really so poor they couldn't afford to have any children. The lady next door had us. I remember when I was 14, I got that job on a garbage truck. Paid $2 a week and all you could eat. But I blew that because my family was always bringing people to dinner, you know, in a crowd hanging around the truck. I got a job in a picture, made a picture, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I played the hump. I am still going through a state of depression brought on by, in fact, last Sunday I attended the funeral of a very, very good friend. Her name George. George died. And last Sunday morning I didn't have anything to do, so I figured that I would go by the funeral parlor with George's wife to see how the undertaker had taken care of the final arrangements. And his wife was very excited. You know, she never had quite a large sum of money like this before. She ran in, and she ran over to the coffin there, and the undertaker had George laid out in a brown suit. She said to him, "How come you have George laid out in brown?" The undertaker said, "Well, lady, I looked through my stock. Brown suits were all I had left, and I figured that George looked pretty nice in brown, so I dressed him in brown." The woman said, "Well, George doesn't like brown." She said, "George likes blue, and George wants to be buried in a blue suit." The undertaker said, "Now, look, lady, today's Sunday. But all the stores are closed, so there's no place open to get a blue suit today." And the woman said, "That's your problem. For the money that I'm paying you for this, you're going to do it like I want it done. I'm going down the street to get some flowers for George, and I'll be gone 5 minutes. When I come back, I want you to have..." She ran back in, ran over the coffin, looked down, and George has a blue suit on. She turned to the fellow. She said, "I thought you said the stores were closed." And the fellow said, "They are, lady." She said, "Well, where did you get the blue suit from?" The fellow said, "Well, right after you left, they brought in another fellow who had split, and he had a blue suit on, so I figured that I'd dress him in George's brown and do George up in his blue." The lady said, "But I was just gone 5 minutes. How'd you change the suits so fast?" The fellow said, "I didn't change the suits, lady. I switched the heads." What I had in mind mentioning was an incident that took place recently when I was returning from Chicago by train. And when I got on the train, I just fell out in the seat there. And I noticed that the woman across the aisle had her baby with her. Ugly baby. Ugly baby. From the other end of the coach came this guy. He was very drunk. And he was staring at the baby. And the woman turned to him, she said, "What are you looking at?" And the guy said, "I'm looking at that ugly baby." "That's a horrible looking baby, lady. Where'd you get that baby from?" And the woman said, "I don't have to take that." And she snatched the emergency cord, you know, and the train came to a screeching halt, and the conductor came running in. Now, this was his moment. At this moment, he represented the Pennsylvania Railroad. He said, "What's going on here?" And the woman said, "This fellow just insulted me." She said, "I don't have to spend my money and ride this railroad and be insulted." She said, "I'd rather walk." And the conductor said, "Calm down." He said, "Calm down." Said, "Madam," he said, "there's nothing that the Pennsylvania Railroad will not do to avoid having situations such as this. That perhaps it would be more to your convenience if we were to rearrange your seating. Let you sit somewhere else in the coach." Said, "And lady, as a small compensation from the railroad, if you will accompany me to the dining car, we are going to give you a free meal. And maybe we'll find a banana for your monkey." Under the vital statistics section on the way down here today, that 90% of the Cadillac owners in America say, them white people sure make some sharp cars. Who has a question? You got a question? Come on.
This is a precise question.
Yeah.
How many kinds of body lice are there?
How many cars?